It's been an active pattern lately, and we were in this time period of seeing nothing happening, and now we're seeing just tons of rainfall head our direction. So we are going to see more this weekend, Felicia. If you have outdoor plans, you want to have an alternative for indoors for sure. So let's take a look at our weather headlines this morning. We're talking about the off and on rain today. Some of it could be heavy at times, and we're going to stay wet into next week with just some short breaks in between here, and the humidity stays elevated despite some cooler temperatures. You're going to see afternoon highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s, but it's going to feel pretty muggy out there. So here's our time-lapse view this morning from the airport. You can see the sun coming up, but it's definitely cloudy out there, and you can see the wet tarmac. So it is raining in many spots this morning. Rain chances are going to stay elevated through most of the day today. And while we won't see rain all day, all the time, we will see these pockets of heavy rainfall moving through the area, just kind of waves that come through. And here's the reason why. We have our satellite and radar showing a lot of rain this morning, stretching all the way back into portions of the Tennessee Valley. So we have plenty of moisture out there being fed from the Atlantic, and this rainfall that's moving through, we're seeing some of these storms developing kind of right on top of each other and moving through the same areas. So we're going to see some training, is what we call it, over the next several hours here in some spots. But right now, the heaviest rain is stationed from Greensboro all the way over to Chapel Hill and into Durham. So we're going to see this heavier rainfall kind of moving to the north as we head through the next half hour or so. Now, taking you up to Virginia, across the border there from North Carolina into South Hill, you're seeing some heavy rain right now. Any plans along 85 this morning and 40 traveling towards the west especially, you're going to encounter some rainfall. Forecasting temperatures, though, we're looking at 70s through the morning hours, and watch, it doesn't really change a whole lot through the day today. So even by noon, we're looking at 76 in Raleigh, 80 degrees in Fayetteville. Later this afternoon, we'll see some lower 80s around the Sandhills, and we'll see those upper 70s around most of central North Carolina, even mid-70s along the Virginia border. So 78 for Raleigh, 77 for Durham, 84 for Fayetteville. Generally, rain chances staying on the higher side of things as we head through most of the day today. And I mentioned the muggy conditions out there. Right now, our dew point reading is getting into the 70s, and by 3 o'clock today, it's going to be at 72. So that means we're right here in the steamy category. You'll feel it outside. Anytime you have all that moisture, it's there. We do have a few activities going on this weekend, and this is one of your forecast for fun items here. The Pimento Cheese Festival is in Cary. You're going to see temperatures in the 70s, but you're going to see a good chance of seeing some rainfall off and on through the day. So make sure you take an umbrella. And here's the reason why we're seeing all this rain. This area of low pressure that's back to the west here has a stationary front with us, and watch what happens over the next couple of days here. We're not going to see much movement with that. The front just sticks around into tomorrow. We're going to stay humid. We're going to stay wet as we get into Monday. More rain chances as this front just has to kind of just slowly move. And so we're just not going to see a lot of relief from that. Futurecast shows those pockets of rainfall at times through the day, taking in at 10 o'clock this morning. By later this afternoon, still seeing some of that rainfall. The heaviest will be around western North Carolina and towards Greensboro and towards Charlotte. That's where we'll see the most flood potential. Across most of central North Carolina, we'll see those isolated pockets of some flooding concern, but not everyone's going to see those torrential downpours. I'm rolling all the way into Sunday, 8 o'clock in the evening. You can see we're pretty much socked in with the rainfall. So we have a wet weekend ahead. It's not going to change very much. If you are going to be outside in those breaks, you're not going to have to worry really about the pollen. That's going to get washed away, that's for sure, over the next couple days here. So the forecast for washing your car isn't going to be all that great. The rain's going to do it for you. If you're out in the yard too, I know in some of those breaks I head out, check my garden, that kind of thing for the squirrels, and I do notice mosquitoes, and you're going to notice them too. So it's going to be a high threat for the next several days, and any more rainfall we get here is just going to add to that over the next couple of weeks. So heading into our 7-day forecast, temperatures stay on the lower side of things. Average this time of year is about 86. We're going to see those lower 80s and upper 70s, but we keep rain chances in the forecast as that slow-moving front, that low-pressure system that's well back to the west, still just siphons that moisture right into our area.
There's a lot more rain on the way.
Don't you wish we could just be sleeping in?
And just enjoy the sound
Hopefully
of the
you
rain.
at home, if you're waking up, putting on the television, you're able to just kind of chill out in bed there. It's going to be one of those days where we do see some off and on heavy rainfall at times, but outside this morning, this is Apex for you, usually a very hopping place on a Saturday morning. It's a little early, I know, but you'll see the rain there on the wetness on the road there for this morning, and we are going to see some more showers and some storms as we head through the day today. So the big picture shapes up like this. This is our culprit for all of this wet activity. It's well back to the west here, but this front here, this stationary boundary, is kind of being influenced by a lot of different things in the atmosphere, and that's just what's going to keep pumping the moisture our direction. So we're going to see it through the day today. The radar is very lit up this morning. A lot of activity off the coast there. Look at all those lightning strikes. But across most of the Piedmont, stretching into the central North Carolina area and the triangle there, we are seeing some pockets of heavier rain. Zooming in here from, say, Greensboro over to Durham, if you're traveling along 85 this morning, you're going to get really soaked. If you're along 40 this morning, you're going to encounter some rainfall, and especially towards Lewisburg this morning. Durham right now, you're picking up on one of those heavier pockets of the rainfall. In Hillsborough, you're going to see that in a few minutes. Chapel Hill, you're going to start wrapping that up. Rain's been pretty intense in some spots. Some areas getting up close to 2 inches of rainfall just south of Lewisburg, close to 2 inches in Raleigh, but back to the west, 4.5 inches over towards areas of Greensboro. So they're going to see even more rain and potential for flooding today. We'll see a little bit of that potential, but not quite as high if you travel a little farther westward. Temperatures in the 70s this morning, upper 60s around the Virginia border to start the day, and through the weekend, your forecast unfortunately stays very unsettled and at times on the wet side of things. So temperatures stay milder, but we are going to see those pockets of rain, definitely some clouds around today. We're going to look ahead in your 7-day forecast, talk about how long this rain stays around coming up in a few moments.
All right, babe, thank you for that.
Okay, so our rain chances are going to stay higher and elevated through most of the weekend. This is for today, 70, 60%, at times up to 80%. So keep that in mind if you're going to be out and about and you have outdoor plans. You might want an indoor alternative of some sort, because while we may not see rain all day long, we will see pockets of heavy rainfall at times in many spots. 71 outside right now in Wake Forest. You can see the roads are wet there. You can see all the clouds there in the distance. We're going to see a lot of clouds today. This low pressure area back to our west, it's really far away, but it has a stationary boundary kind of associated with it. And that's what's not going anywhere, and it's what's our driving force for all this rainfall for the weekend. I want to show you water vapor imagery. This is really helpful in seeing where the moisture is and where the dry air is. The dry air is the red and the orange there, and you can see we are just stuck in the moist air there that's more gray in color. So our radar right now really active. We're looking at the heaviest rainfall now moving north of 85 and moving north of 40 as well. We are going to see some rain still taking place through the morning hours here, and I think we'll get a little bit of a break and then another wave will come through. But Durham right now picking up on some of the heavier rain, Hillsborough, Chapel Hill, as well as this storm system kind of just wobbles around a little bit. So rainfall rates, we're looking at a couple inches in some spots this morning. Back to the west, though, across portions of Greensboro, we're looking at 4.5 inches. So Futurecast takes us through the day today. We are going to see off and on rain at times. There's just kind of pockets of that. Temperatures are going to stay mild in the 70s for most of us, 70s outside right now. And for today, we're looking at temperatures up to about 77 with a few storms developing later today. We'll look ahead in your 7-day forecast, talk about how long the rain lasts coming up when CBS 17 News comes right back.